Greetings, gamers. Oh, actually, this isn't really a game video, so how should I address you? Um, Salutations, cinemaphiles. Wait, no, that's way too much of a mouthful. You know what? Just this time, just hey folks, I'm LotusCrane. As you can see from this generic screenshot clip art I got from, well, the address is right there. I want to be clear, I'm not stealing something without giving credit. Give credit to whoever whoever that is. But yeah, I didn't think I was going to be doing a movie review this soon, and I didn't think I was going to be having such a serious conversation so soon. But I wound up watching Batman: The Killing Joke last night in theaters. There was a nationwide Fathom Events simulcast at 7:30 and 10 p.m. Both yesterday, Monday, and today, Tuesday. And I didn't even know that it was going to be in theaters until yesterday afternoon. So I was like, oh, hey, it's got Kevin Conroy, who I've always admired as the one and only true Batman in my mind. I just loved his voice and his work in the Batman animated series in the early 90s, and then continuing into Batman Beyond and Justice League. And of course, Mark Hamill as the Joker, who uh, I hate to say does a great job even when you are just kind of hating um, his character. And Tara Strong is back. And you know what? I'm going to relax a little bit, or try to get myself to relax a little bit for this conversation. So just give me a moment. Yeah, I'm gonna undo the tie for this and pour myself an adult beverage for an adult conversation. Spoiler alerts, and this review is really not for children. So yeah, as many of you who have chosen to click on and watch this review already know from reading articles in Time and Kotaku and elsewhere, Batman the Killing Joke, based upon an old, what is it, 25-year-old graphic novel by Alan Moore, the writer. Uh, yeah, it rightfully got a lot of flack for being misogynistic and anti-feminist back then, and uh, and it's rightfully getting very similar flack right now. For those of you who don't know what The Killing Joke is about, it's a story which is both kind of praised by fans as being the iconic Joker origin story, um, but it's criticized for um, basically brutalizing, discarding, and also reducing to a plot device the character of Batgirl, aka Barbara Gordon. In the original graphic novel, her only real role is um, answering the door in the at the apartment she shares with her father, and being shot in the stomach and through the spine by the Joker before it's heavily implied that she may be sexually assaulted or perhaps even raped. Apocryphally, it's been said that Alan Moore denied that there was any actual sexual assault, that the Joker, when he took photographs to try and drive Commissioner Gordon insane, uh, that he was just using the implication of sexual assault or rape to mess with his mind. But based on what I know about psychology and people trying to cover their rear ends after the fact, I would think that maybe Alan Moore, even though elements of the story are vague, I think in his original draft of writing, he did mean for Barbara Gordon to have been sexually assaulted, and only said afterwards, "Oh no, it really wasn't. I was being vague, but no, really, she wasn't assaulted," because he wanted to deflect some of the criticism cast his way, which, I mean, I guess it's an understandable response, but I also feel that's kind of disingenuous. So, for the purposes of this review, I'm going to say she was totally sexually assaulted. If they didn't want the audience to get that impression, then they should not have included two bits. One is there's a moment of animation after the shooting, but before he starts to take photographs, where the Joker unbuttons the top button of Batgirl's blouse. Um, and then there's another scene, which I believe was inserted for the movie, that wasn't necessarily in the graphic novel, where when Batman is asking around, he talks to a bunch of prostitutes, and they mention how often that Joker frequents their services, and that they were surprised that he hadn't sought them out after his latest escape. The creators of this new animated movie, both to pad the length of the movie and also to try and give Batgirl more agency, more of an active role than just being, a 2-3 page plot device. They add like an entire half-hour prologue section to the movie um, that demonstrates both that she is her own person, but they really do it problematically. Essentially, they just totally failed the Bechdel test with like a Z minus. Batgirl, seemingly her only like reason for fighting crime is A, for the thrill of it, and B, to get closer to Batman, which are both immature and poor motivations to be a superhero, and which are, I believe, are not entirely faithful to Batgirl, both in the original animated show from the 90s or from the comic. But, I mean, she does get more screen time. Hopefully, Tara Strong was compensated well for her for her talent. But yeah, she just spends entire 30 minutes pining after Batman. Oh, having Paris Franz, right? A really weird, regrettable name like that. He basically spends half an hour stalking and objectifying Batgirl. Um, Even tries to knock her out with a drug, but she manages to get to safety behind a bank vault before he can take advantage of her. So really, there's three bad things slash bad men in Batgirl's life. Paris Franz, the Joker, and really Bruce Wayne, Batman himself, being highly irresponsible, letting Batgirl put the moves on him. So yeah, the 30-minute prologue that was supposed to give her more agency and more backstory motivation, it kind of backfires. But I mean, I understand why they want to do it, but it just it doesn't it really doesn't come off the way it should. I don't know if they had enough women or enough like feminists helping craft the screenplay or storyboards, but it just it it doesn't empower Batgirl much more than her just being a passive plot device in the original graphic novel. I mean, that being said, it was nice to hear Kevin Conroy again as Batman, though I have to say his performance seems a little bit stiff or even awkward for both the prologue section and also the last few minutes of the movie. He kind of returns to strong form in the main body of the movie, but I think maybe even Kevin Conroy is a little uncomfortable with the material he was given. Um, Mark Hamill does admittedly do a fantastic job as Joker. Um, Really, if I didn't know Mark Hamill, like as the human being, was a really nice guy, like it's really easy to forget and just really hate the Joker, both for what he does and how much he seems to enjoy doing it. So Mark Hamill is masterfully a villain. I guess like Joffrey Baratheon or Ramsay Bolton from Game of Thrones, which there are comparable levels of misogyny here and there. Oh, and I mean Tara Strong's performance is good as well. I hope no one thinks that I'm mentioning her as an afterthought. It's just there are a lot of things going through my mind as I try to discuss this train wreck. I guess I'm gonna briefly back up and mention some of the mechanical and or not terrible things about the movie. The musical score was actually pretty good, and during last night's screening, they actually had a featurette after the end of the credits, where they show how they composed and recorded the music, including a kind of a Broadway style number that Mark Hamill's Joker sings quite well, actually. Oh, there's also a featurette before the movie screened, interviewing Mark Hamill about the history of the Joker and really the history of the animated Batman franchise, which is cool. In terms of artwork and animation, really the worst thing was that there was entirely too much CG. Like, it was pretty blatant. I guess I was kind of hoping that they would stay truer to the '90s animated series, but no, they're pretty much all the vehicles, anything that isn't really a person, is probably some form of CG. So if you're not a fan of obvious CG, and I'm not a fan of obvious CG, it's not so great. I mean, I'm okay with like really smoothly fitted in CG, like Gundam Unicorn, which, I mean, that's anime. It's not an American cartoon, but the CG in that, even though you can tell it's kind of CG, it's so well done that it doesn't bother you. The CG in Batman: The Killing Joke, they should have either they should have thought that through. They should have either done actual hand animation or found someone who could do better CG than what they used. Moving on to the plot. One of the open-ended questions and legacies of The Killing Joke, at the end of the graphic novel, famously. So both the graphic novel and the movie end with Batman having beaten the Joker again, instead of continuing to kick him to the ground, which, I mean, really he deserves after what he did to Barbara and James Gordon. Um, he he basically offers a truce to try and help rehabilitate the Joker, because they were both individuals who were kind of driven towards a path by a bad day that happened in their past. And the Joker tells, this kind of lame cliche joke, and then he and Batman both start laughing. But in the final two panels, the laughter is suddenly cut off, and um, some theorists, some comic fans and theorists, they kind of speculate maybe Batman uh, choked Joker to death or broke his neck in those last two panels. From the way that they filmed The Killing Joke, the animated movie, uh, the end credit comes up while they're still laughing. So I'm pretty sure to go with the no, Batman did not kill the Joker, thereby staying true to both his code and to James Gordon's request to bring the Joker in by the book. Even though really out of anyone, James Gordon, with his daughter being shot and paralyzed, very likely sexually assaulted, and he himself being kidnapped and dragged naked through an amusement park, he would have more cause than anyone really to kind of want the Joker finished once and for all. But the point of The Killing Joke apparently was to prove that Batman, and maybe even more so than Batman, Commissioner Gordon, they really are to their core great people who cannot be morally corrupted even by the most horrific acts. And normally, I'm all for a less punitive justice system, one that's focused more on rehabilitation, similar to the systems of, like, say, Norway has a great prison system, really more of a rehabilitation system than a prison system. But in the case of really twisted individuals, and I hate to Godwin myself, but I mean, people like Adolf Hitler or the Joker, there's no forgiving that. I mean, I don't know at what quantitative or qualitative threshold you say there's no way to forgive, but um, I I don't see how anyone in their right mind, or even one trying to adhere very strongly to a virtuous morality, is going to forgive the Joker. I mean, it almost, um, in a sense, it's almost like um, they're kind of. It may be misogynist of Alan Moore and everyone else involved in both the graphic novel and now the film adaptation. It may be misogynistic of them to downplay what was done to Batgirl and say that that was forgivable. I mean, paralyzing, sexually assaulting, stripping Batgirl of both her ability to walk and her dignity, um, plus all the other crimes that Joker is guilty of. It's almost trivializing how terrible those things are to to try and forgive Joker. I mean, Batgirl, Barbara Gordon, bless her heart. I think it's correct of the comic fan community to think that if Batman had snapped and killed Joker, that she would not have been that happy about it because she herself is so good at heart. Even if a victim is willing to forgive a crime, some crimes really are just so terrible. I feel like if the characters of Batman and James Gordon in The Killing Joke, and if Alan Moore and then the team responsible for doing the screen adaptation of The Killing Joke, if they all really appreciated the safety and dignity and agency and empowerment of women properly, and if they really treated sexual assault and rape as seriously as they should be treated. I mean, I remember that travesty a while back with that rapist in California, that college swimmer who only got 6 months for rape, which is entirely too short, even by my kind of softy standards. That's way too short. Um, so yeah, no, I I think James Gordon and Batman would have been free and clear to kill the Joker. I mean, that just seems like the right response in this situation. But but no, they tried to keep faithful to the graphic novel. Yeah, Batman: The Killing Joke. LotusCrane disapproved. Uh, I kind of regret giving them my money last night. I mean, maybe it wouldn't have mattered because it was actually a sold out house. From what I read today, this was Fathom Events' biggest selling night of all time, bigger than all the like the operas and whatnot they sometimes simulcast. So maybe it wouldn't have mattered. Moot point. But this is something I probably could have waited for it to come out on Amazon Prime or Netflix or whatnot. So uh, yeah, I mean it's already 10:36 p.m. So it's too late for any of you if you might have potentially been swayed by this video to not go and watch it. Um, and I mean you're not terrible people to have watched it. Um, but just think about it critically. I mean, you don't even have to be like re- a really strong feminist, but as long as you're not like some, you know, twisted backwards misogynist, you're probably going to feel a lot of conflicted things and feel some regrets about The Killing Joke. Um, and it's, I guess, if anything, it's a good thing to feel those conflicted feelings, to feel those regrets, because they're problems that exist that we have to deal with. All right, so um, well, hopefully the next time I review a movie or a TV show, we can all be, happier about it, or more playful about it anyway. I mean, if I review something and it's just like merely bad and unentertaining, but there's no heavy moral baggage associated, I mean, that's fine. Just um, take care of each other, and especially um, have regard for the dignity and safety and agency and empowerment of the women in your lives. I'm LotusCrane signing off.